So we're going to begin here by covering some of the most important CSS selectors that we can use. This is a crucial part of writing good CSS, is having a grasp of the different selectors that are available for you to use. So just to recap here, a basic CSS rule looks like this. We have a selector and then our curly braces and then some set of properties that we're setting. So we'll be focusing on that selector up top. There are lots of different possible selectors we can put there. Things like selecting by an element, as we've already seen, make all H1s purple, all the way up to more complicated things like what we have right here. This is a combination of an element selector with a attribute selector and then a nth of type pseudo selector on top of that. So quite a few things going on, but by the end of this unit, you should have a good understanding of what the heck this is. Before we go on to our first selector, I'd like to just mention that I have a starter HTML file. If you want to follow along with me as I'm typing here, you can, or you can just see the finished result in index.html. And you can see this is the web page that we'll be styling. We're not going to do anything crazy here. It's not going to look beautiful. We will have projects that do look nice, but this is purely focused on teaching the selectors. So it's kind of a very slimmed down version of, I don't know, like a Reddit or some sort of blog where we have posts. There's a little form to sign in or to search and then to log in and sign up, 2 different buttons. We've got upvote buttons. We've got, who posted something. We have, there's a couple of things I'll highlight as we go. Let's just leave it at that for now. So the first selector we'll learn is the universal selector. Honestly, I don't think I've ever used this. It seems like you might have a good use for it. It selects everything in the document. And so if you wanted to make everything black or you wanted to make everything, a certain font size, it might seem like you could use this, and you definitely could, but it's not generally a good idea because on a larger document, it can be pretty inefficient, and there are other ways to achieve this. So if you're trying to select every piece of text and make it black or make it purple, the star or the universal selector here is also going to be selecting every possible element on the page, including things that you're not going to be able to make black, like an image, for example, or all of the divs and containers and other elements that may not actually have text to style. So I'll just show it to you though. Here's my app.css. It's connected to my file, and I will select everything using that. And we can do something like color is pink. Refresh. And now everything is pink, as you can see here. Or I could do, a background color is cyan. Now we get our body with a cyan background, but also the buttons have a background. The input has a background. Everything has a background of cyan. So that is the universal selector. Again, not very commonly used, but it is a thing. Now the next selector we've already seen, it's the element selector. This selects everything of a given type. So all images, or, if I wanted to make all of these, or all buttons, or I don't know what I would do, but let's say I want to select all buttons on the page and make them a bit larger. Button, and then font size, how about, 30 pixels? Again, we're not going for looks, but those are our larger buttons. So that's every button on the page. And then the last thing we'll see in this video is that we can use a comma to combine multiple selectors in a list. So right here, H1, H2 is going to select all H1s and all H2s. So it styles both of them and makes them magenta. So we can use this comma in multiple situations. We'll see this, but this is a very common one if you have 2 elements or more than 2 that you want to style similarly. So how about, I want H1s and H2s. So this is an H1. These are 3 H2s. If I want them to all be of a certain color or a certain size, let's just do color. H1, H2. I want color to be, how about white? Okay, well that's hideous and impossible to read, but it works. So how about something else? How about our color will be dark slate blue? There we go. All right, so those are the first basic selectors. Universal selector with the star, not very common. Element selector, extremely common, selects all elements of a type. And then we can use the comma to combine various selectors, and in this case, 2 element selectors. All H1s and H2s, make them dark slate blue in color. Next up, more important selectors. We've got quite a few.